Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with what is going to be the last video with the Hinderer Gen 2 Eclipse. Now I've owned this knife for right at about 2 months and I have really learned a lot, and I have been carrying it alongside the 0392 line. And I made a comparison video a while back with the two of these knives with my brown gold 0392 and the Eclipse over here. And I just wanted to bring it out one more time and give you some final thoughts after having owned it for a while. Also in the setting of having owned an XM18, that Fatty Warncliffe I had a few months ago. And just kind of talk about my thoughts, because this knife is going to go all the way across the world to my good friend Madman. I really appreciate his support in helping me with this channel. I just want to make you guys aware he made an offer to buy the knife off of me if I didn't enjoy having it, and I really appreciate that, because I do all of this channel through my own funding. You know, I don't make a ton of money. I'm a resident, so I make an okay living and I'm able to buy these knives, but it's not really sustainable. I have to keep them moving along. So when someone offers to buy it off of me, it allows me the chance to own and use a knife without worrying about, the financial repercussions. So thank you, Madman, for that one. So let's talk about what I've kind of learned and how I feel at this point, now that I've owned two Hinderers for an extended period of time and carried them alongside some 0392s. Well, I will say that just like in my comparison video, I ultimately favored the 0392 line. I just feel like for my EDC uses, they are just the superior knife. They are less expensive with more high-end materials, and they just function a little bit better. They're tuned a little bit better, and I just enjoy them a little bit more. This one in particular, the 0392 Frunk that I just had customized, is really just an incredible, incredible knife. And when you put it up against some of the competition that's out there, namely the Curtis F3 is a really high-end knife, and some of the other zero-tolerance knives, it's really hard to justify the cost of the Hinderers nowadays. And I want to just speak openly about the fact that Hinderer has not really innovated their XM18s in a long time. Now, they keep producing some aesthetically pleasing models. This is a beautiful knife, don't get me wrong. This is an absolutely stunningly good-looking knife. But they continue to put their knives on Teflon washers, despite the outcry from the community to make a change. And they just basically go by the same model. Two slabs of titanium with a G10 face right here. They offer a few finishes here. This is a new blade shape, and I do appreciate that. They are at least trying with that one. This is their new trailing point blade. It's similar to a Bowie blade. This is their more traditionally ground Bowie blade shape. So you can see the significant difference there in terms of that top wedge and I guess the harpoon. That's not really a harpoon, but that Bowie up curve up top. I think it's a nice usable blade shape. I haven't quite decided which of these two I like. This one is a bit more of a dramatic blade shape, and so I like that one on this knife just because it's gives it a little bit more flair. But this knife has been nice to own. It carries pretty well. It's lighter than the 0392s by about a half an ounce or so. So I do like that. That's because of this G10 scale. But I just found that it was a bit too finicky to get it really tuned up the right way. It's absolutely perfect right now. Madman is going to love this knife. Perfectly centered, perfect action. I can even spider flick the knife. Really, really smooth and nice. But this is just going to make its way across the world to him in Australia, because it just, to me, doesn't really hold up in my EDC to these other knives in my collection. What are your thoughts on the Hinderer series? Do you prefer them to these ZTs or these other offerings? I just feel like some of these really big name companies be it Hinderer knives, Chris Reeve knives, unfortunately sometimes even, some of the old standbys just need a little bit of an update. And there are a lot of companies out there that are putting out some amazing new products. I'm watching the We Knives company just churn out better and better and better knives. And even though I want to own American-made knives, the competition is getting stronger and stronger. And some people are falling a little bit behind, in my opinion. At $425 plus all the cost of customization, taking this knife to over $560 does kind of make it a little bit obsolete in today's field. This was a $400 knife with $100 of customization. This was a $425 knife. Both of these have better materials, let's be real. Now this knife was considerably more than that, but the base model, especially if you buy it on the knife of the day, will come in around $470 or $500, somewhere around that on a good day. And this knife will just blow it out of the water. The quality of the construction, the tolerances here, the beefiness, and the just the ergonomics, and everything about this knife is just vastly superior in every way. I would choose this every single time to carry over this knife. So that's just my personal preference. Probably going to upset a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are diehard Hinderer fans. But to be honest, this may be the end of my love affair with Hinderer. I just feel like they're not quite what I'm looking for in a knife. They are targeted very much towards the first responder, police, military sort of crowd, and they sort of pigeonhole themselves into that role. This is not really the ideal EDC knife because of its grind and because of its aggressive nature and because of, it's just not quite as fun as these other knives. I think that a certain component of owning these high-end knives is that fun with the flipping and fun kind of understanding the materials that are in them and how they're all working together to make this knife come together. And I just think that the actual Hinderers miss out on that fun aspect. So I'm going to be sending this knife along. It's going to keep the channel going. I'm going to use that money and reinvest it and start a new project. To be perfectly honest, it may be another 0392 customization product. I'm not totally sure. I see that there are still a few of the 0392 blacks available out there. I'm not a huge fan of DLC, but I've just, gotten a great experience with this 0392 Blue Bowie conversion. And so that gives me hope that I think that I could try some fun things with that DLC one with Fanatic Edge and maybe some other members of the community out there. So I just wanted to have a nice little discussion video, a nice little send-off and a farewell to the very beautiful Hinderer Eklipse Gen 2. I wanted to say thank you to Madman and thank you to everyone who've been watching my videos around this knife. Let me know what you think of this knife down in the comments. Let me know what you think about how it might compare to these other knives. I strongly prefer all three of the other knives on the screen here to the actual Hinderer itself, and I'm just asking Hinderer if they would consider doing some modernization on their knives. Even though I understand that they stick to their principles, I think that they would sell like hotcakes, and at the end of the day, you've got to be making money. A business is about making money, and I'll tell you what, you'll make a lot more money if you start looking at things like this, if you start looking at the upgrades and selling them like this at a better price point. There's too much competition in the market now, and things are, I feel like, going to become increasingly more difficult to keep doing this same thing over and over again. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Take a look at this beautiful knife for one last time in this lineup. It's going to head over to Australia. As always, guys, this is Dr. Frunkey saying take care.